Hi, good evening. Nice meeting you all tonight. Before we start, we want to play a short video to take you into this journey of colors and to learn a little bit about our company in Italy, Novacolor, and most of all to understand how our knowledge about decorative materials can fit in this beautiful country, Oman. I take this opportunity before we start to thank His Highness for giving us the opportunity to be here. Takin Egypt, our long-term partners and friends, there is nothing else I should add because we've been working together for many, many years and the relationship is really extremely strong already. And Takin Oman, of course, so we hope to be part of this great family and to do well in this country.
It's not just colour. Structure.
Thank you, everybody. Before I forget, I want to thank also my team, Mr. Leonardo, that you will meet afterward, and also our technical manager, Mr. David Sam. You will have the chance to speak with both of them later. So, Novacolor. Novacolor, just to give you a few words about this company, we are an Italian company with headquarters in Venice. And it's a family-run business. The company was born back in the early 80s doing emulsion paints, insulation, standard products for interiors and exteriors. And we had the great intuition and creativity to approach the world of design and of decoration. A lot of commitment to come up with strong ideas and to understand that one of the big challenges that the world was facing and is still facing nowadays is actually about design. So color, design, architecture, both in interiors and exteriors. This is basically our main field of operations. And again, in 2009, another big step happened in our company. We became part of a larger group, San Marco Group, that owns in Italy and in Europe 7 factories. So we are placed not only in Italy, but also in Norway, in Poland, in Croatia, in Bosnia, and 9 brands. So Novacolor is the brand dedicated to decoration. What do we do? We sell and apply and demonstrate our finishes in around 50 countries around the world. All Europe, of course, where we started basically our operations, as I said, a long time ago. But not only Europe, so Pakin, Egypt and Libya, as you know, in the near future also, I mean, right now already Oman. And also great partnership with companies like AkzoNobel, that also again is actually enjoying as a partner under a license agreement. And Asian Paint, one of the big companies in the Eastern world, in Asia, the leading manufacturing company in India as far as market shares are concerned. What we do, we work with a lot of passion. You know that Italians are famous everywhere in the world for being a very creative nation. Unfortunately, we cannot enjoy lots of natural resources, so the creativity, the passion, the commitment, the expertise that we have accumulated along the years have made Italians well known as people, I would say, all around the world. So we have a magnificent history, a lot of past, and we're working nowadays also to make our future obviously brighter. When it comes to Novacolor, as I said, our main target is effect paints or polish plaster, textures, whatever has to see and whatever is concerned with walls, both in interiors and in exteriors. What can we do here in Oman? What is the link that we see between Oman and our country? Oman as a country has a great history. When we think of GCC countries in Europe, we don't know till now very much about your history, but we know that you've been around, as we can say, for a lot of years. And this is a very great connection also with Italy. So how to preserve the past, the big challenge, how to preserve the past and make this great past merge with the future. This is one of the big challenges that people are facing everywhere. Some of the masterpieces that we can see as a tourist, we had the chance to come to your beautiful countries, and this is what we bring back with us. So stone-looking walls, Baroque style, a lot of decoration, and this is what we need to preserve. Architecture, as we said, in Oman and all GCC countries, has the possibility to perform at its best, to show its great power. What do we like nowadays, or what do we need out of an architectural masterpiece? For sure, the performance, the durability, so it doesn't only have to look good, it has to be good for a long period of time. Technical materials that have to look and be sophisticated, so this is one of the challenges that we're facing. Luxurious solutions, because everybody likes style. I mean, this Grand Hyatt, for instance, is one of the nicest hotels, for sure, in your country. It looks luxurious, and it is a masterpiece that we have to preserve and further decorate, but also housing. So we feel in Europe that products and companies like Novacolor should provide also solutions for people that cannot necessarily afford luxury. Architecture, as we said, in your area of the world, you're extremely lucky, as we can say, because you have the opportunity to design the future landscape in the world. So our continent is called the old continent because we were very good probably in the past years, but in terms of modern architecture, what we see in Europe is always a step behind what happens in Middle East. And therefore we look amazed at all these pieces of architecture. How can men nowadays even think of such structures like the Pearl or the Palm in Dubai, Burj Al Khalifa, and all the beautiful masterpieces that you have in this land? What about Italy? So back again, what is the link between Italy and Oman? As we said, also Italy as a country is well known for the Romans. Everybody knows that Romans built and conquered half of the world at their time. And nowadays we have also the same challenge that you have. How to make our past and our beautiful cities, the Colosseum, Duomo in Milano, San Pietro in Rome, live together with modernity. And this is where we step in as a company. This is where we say we can still provide nice, good-looking, modern architecture while preserving the history that made both our countries, Italy and Oman, great in the past. So this is where we want to be. And one of the examples that we had the opportunity and the luck to be part of is in the Pearl in Qatar, where Novacolor has been painting over 300,000 square meters in one of the areas that can certainly be considered a landscape, a landmark in this country, Venice in Qatar. So again, Venice has a historical masterpiece. There is nothing like Venice in the world. And how to transport a little bit of this Italian or being Italian also in this part of the world, using our colors, using our paints, using our technical solutions, because again, Qatar, as a sea-closed country, has a lot of technical issues that have to be considered while doing a great masterpiece of modern art, we can say, as the Pearl. Some pictures of what we did in Qatar, and more projects, like this is another masterpiece, the Museum of Islamic Art. It's the heart, the beating heart of Doha, where all the history, all the human endeavors to build a better country are now preserved. So again, these masterpieces of art are painted and are restored or protected using modern materials that enable us to create stone-looking, for instance, wall, similar to what used to be in this country, in this area. We don't only go for the big, luxurious projects, but we also do housing, we do villas, so our products can certainly be used in several situations and several conditions. So commercials, more projects in Qatar, like Kempinski Hotel, Nikki Hotel, Copthorne, Tornado Towers. So if you have the chance, and I'm sure you do have to go visit these countries, you will see a lot of this architecture decorated, protected, with solutions that partially come also from Novacolor. Moving around GCC, you're lucky because you have beautiful cities to see. Dubai, when we reached Dubai for the first time, it was nothing to compare with any other city in the world. And also in Dubai, we've had the opportunity to apply a lot of our paints. Recently, like last year, we've completed the renovation of Kempinski Hotel. It's 400 rooms where we've been given the opportunity to use one of our metallic paints that you will see later on in the gallery. Health club and spa. Why? Because all these products are environmental friendly. We will tell a little bit more in a couple of minutes, but basically the company does not produce any solvent, so whatever you see and whatever you will use, it's totally water-based, with a very low release of VOC in the atmosphere, and this is a commitment. It's a commitment that comes from the company. It's not only a regulation imposed by our government in Italy, because we have regulations, but they are not so stringent, but we feel that as a manufacturer, we have to be leader also when it comes to formulating products that are not harmful, not only for the end users, but also for our workers in the factory, because this is one of the things that always makes a difference. So a lot of projects in Dubai, because we've been in Dubai for over 15 years. So we've been specified in some of the most fascinating hotels, like Atlantis, for instance, where we've done over 20,000 square meters interiors together, also with other companies, of course, but Novacolor is a very good partner for talents. It's a nice partner for architects, for designers, and I would say also for applicators who want to prove how good they are and how skilled they are. So we give really the opportunity to all these people to create something unique. So I don't go through all the list because it's really a lot of stuff. Not only Dubai and Middle East, of course, we work in China. One of our biggest market nowadays is Pakistan, where we do exteriors, we do mosques, we do shopping malls, and China, again, as I said, with all the entertaining and theme parks. We've been recently specified in Disney Shanghai, so we are kind of trying to grow also in the sense of the quality of the projects that we do. BMW Museum, for instance, in Beijing was one of the major projects that we completed last year. So if you have the opportunity to go to Beijing, it's a really nice piece of architecture designed by Foster & Partners, so one of the biggest architectural studios in the world. And then other countries that are emerging economies, like for instance Kazakhstan. This is also a very peculiar type of architecture. It's an exterior where we have been actually trying to duplicate the idea of stone, but with a plaster, so with lesser cost, easier application, and also great durability. A lot of hotels. Armani is for sure one of our biggest clients nowadays, so Armani is building absolutely everywhere. And Le Méridien, Marriott, Sheraton, Hilton, so whatever name of hotel you think, we have certainly approached, and hopefully not everywhere, but we've been one of the products selected. And this is something smaller scale, but I would like anyway to spend a couple of words. It's a totally green project in Singapore. So Singapore, as you know, although it's a very small, it's a city basically, very small country, the attention, the commitment towards environment is extremely high. So to be selected and work in governmental projects in Singapore requires a lot of work before, in order to formulate sometimes products that are non-existing in our range from zero, in order to meet these stringent parameters. So this Capital Green, it's a grade A office. It means the impact in the atmosphere, the production of carbon dioxide is almost close to zero. As you know, zero doesn't exist, because even the water that we are drinking every day has somehow an amount of VOC, of release in the atmosphere. But in this case, we've been really tested as a company in order to guarantee that the products selected, plasters, could meet such stringent parameters. So, leaving the project for 1 minute, and going back a little bit to what we know best, that is color. I would like to take you now into this small journey. It's not going to be long, to see and to take a look at the products that you will actually have the opportunity to view later in a larger scale. So, the painter, as one of our most famous artists in the Renaissance and the 15th century, said, has the universe in his mind and his hands. And this is why when we color, when we think of a paint, it would be nice to think of a paint as something that has a value. Nowadays, the paints are just commercial, so we need to paint because we need to paint. But yeah, this is true. But at the same time, whatever we do with the paint, whenever we use a color, we are changing something in the structure, in the mood, in the temperature of the house itself, of the room that we're living. Color has an enormous value, because the color that we choose defines the outlines of whatever we do and whatever we are. So color is basically energy. I don't want to go through the theory of colors that tells you that if you wear black, you're such a person, or if you wear red, you're energetic, but we know that somehow this is true. So whenever we pick a color for a house, for a baby room, for instance, we're never going to paint it black. There is a reason. So because black has an energy that is probably not fitting in that specific situation. So the world, if we think of our world as a combination, as an amount of different colors, is like a kaleidoscope. So the varying combination of colors creates different pictures, and it helps us to keep these pictures in our mind always moving. So is there anything, what do you think, is there anything that in interior design that can tell our personality, that can tell who we are better than color? I don't think so, because color really reveals, color and texture really reveal the personality that we are. They reveal our attitude, and they make our presence visible inside whatever environment. It's not just color, as you saw in the movie that we played before. So it's color, but it's also texture. So when we think of something smooth, we think of something that has a kind of stone-looking effect, or we think of a texture. And also the texture, together with the design, is what influences every decision we make. Even a nice dish of pasta has a texture, or one of your kebab. This is another texture. So whatever we do has color, has texture, and has design. And this is why, together with Pakin and the people here in Oman, we want to create our own style. So this is not, this partnership, the way we look at it, it's not about duplicating what we have already done in Egypt, in Libya, or in Italy. We want to create, we want to be part of your own style, and we hope that with the expertise that we have accumulated in this field, we can help you in this sense. So I think this is one of the best sentences that Orson Welles wrote. So we have to be unique, but still very easy to recognize. So in 2015, now 2015 we already reached almost half of it, we have developed as a company a lot of strategies. And these strategies are always referred to various levels, because let's not forget that we are, end of the day, manufacturers of painting products. So our strategies talk products, then we have tools, and of course, as a company, we have targets to reach. Products are strongly related to environment. So as we said before, we offer for each one of our materials what we call the footprint, the carbon footprint of the material. So a life cycle assessment. What does it mean? It means that we actually calculate the amount of carbon dioxide that we produce by collecting the raw materials, producing the product, using the paint on the walls, and then disposing, so the waste disposal. This is a very complicated calculation and process, and we are proud, in a way, to be among the few Italian companies that do not only do design products and sell beautiful stucco or marbleized finishes, but can also offer this kind of approach, technical approach to the subject of beauty. When it comes to products, to materials, we are very active both in interiors, but also outdoor. And outdoor is certainly the big challenge that we will face, or that we are facing in this last 2-3 years. How to move decoration, design from interiors to exteriors. Different lines, so when we think of what makes us feel good, nowadays we're always thinking of spa and wellness, how to take care of our body, how to take care of our mind. And in order to take care of our body and mind, we also need materials that are somehow fitting with this idea of wellness. And the best materials to use are stone-looking products, travertine, imitations with plaster, whatever we call natural. Natural meaning mineral base, so whatever comes from this limestone that we cook and recook, and then we make a powder out of it, and then this powder we mix it with water, and then the water and the mixture with the powder becomes a nice paste, and this nice paste is what we put on your walls. So healthy, meaning something that is not impacting too much in the atmosphere. This is one of the Kazakh products that we saw before, projects that we saw before, using partially this mineral plasters in exteriors. Some interiors with style, because everybody has the right to live in a decent environment, at least. Then some of us are a little bit luckier than others, but the minimum style and healthy environment has to be guaranteed to everybody. Metallics have become very fashionable in the last few years because they're very prominent in the way they look. They are very luxurious, they look nice, but they're also very easy to apply. So a lot of the painting companies that used to do decorations, they have certainly picked this trend very quickly because they can guarantee beautiful applications in a very short period of time. So metallics, easy to apply, easy to maintain and refresh. This is another very important point for companies that do decoration. How do I refresh? What about touch-up? And how do I maintain my paints? Because whatever you see here has a very small thickness. There is no need to remove anything. So if one day you're tired of whatever you have in your walls, you can simply paint over. So this is a very big advantage. And all the products are odorless. So there is basically no smell. This means that, as I was telling you before, for the projects in Dubai, in Kempinski, we could refresh these 400 rooms without necessarily having to close the whole structure, because there is no smell. And this is an advantage that comes from technology. So the selection of raw materials that we discussed at the very beginning. Polished plaster, this is what Italians are very famous for. So whatever you call stucco, marbleizing, natural stone, this has always been our, let's say, masterpiece. You know, this is why Italians in paint have become so popular in the last 50 years. If you come to Venice, you come to Rome, all of our most well-known monuments are done with polished plaster, and they're still there. So this is also a very good guarantee that whatever we will offer to the Omani market will be exactly as durable and as guaranteed as our cities in Italy. These are some of the applications. For instance, how to use a traditional polished plaster inside a very modern shop, Louis Vuitton. So Louis Vuitton is one of the most celebrated fashion makers in the world. And we women, we know, we like them very much. Very expensive, and therefore also the shops where we go by, they have to have a certain look. So you cannot go buy a Louis Vuitton bag or a Hermes bag. We do Bulgari, for instance, we do decorate Versace, Armani, as I said before. So all these environments require specific materials, and this is where we stepped in again. And then modernity. So we said a lot about the past, about the tradition, and how important it is to keep these traditions alive. But at the same time, time is running. So we cannot stop things to happen. And therefore, it is very important as a company to have an eye, to keep an eye, and to keep this strong link with what happens in terms of design. And this is why we have come up recently with what we call the oxidation effect. So maybe you will not visualize any of your homes with such a wall, but it's coming, and it will be coming also in this area. So in Dubai we have done, for instance, application with rust imitation, we call it, in some high-end restaurants and hotels. In Europe, it is maybe a little bit more popular. We do a lot of furniture also. This is, for instance, a showroom in Karachi. So you see, the world, because of globalization, somehow has become very small. So whatever you see here is probably the same thing or the same magazine, the same TV format that we also see in Europe. And I think this is one of the good things of internet, making people closer, learning more about each other. So this is a furniture, very high-end furniture showroom in Italy, called Novacolor. Exteriors again, a shopping mall in Poland. So you see from the extremely cold countries, our best market is still Russia, so very cold countries, to extremely warm. All these products are meant to be used in different environments. Why? Because we customize. Obviously, when it comes to formulation, if there is a specific need here in Oman, we will take care, because your weather, it's not our weather. Here you don't have rain, we have a lot of rain. We have a little bit of sun, you have a lot of sun. So the situation, the challenges that the materials have to face are absolutely different. Again, oxidation, modern villas with metallics. So this is a very big trend now in Europe. And concrete. Concrete that used to be a material to dislike, in a way, to hide. It has become one of the new popular products, systems with architects. So this is the typical loft style, we call it. So what we would have probably in America. So something very clean, clean shapes, clean colors, sometimes even a little bit boring, but you cannot discuss with architects. So whatever they like is what we like. And then a new way also to talk floors. So Novacolor is not only walls, it's not only interiors, not only exteriors, we also do flooring system. So this type of jointless, seamless, no joints, no tiles, unique body, like a body from the wall down to the floor. It's what we are currently promoting all around the world. And the same materials used, for instance, in a lot of malls, like if you have the chance to visit Dubai Mall, this is a very high-end producer of shoes. It's called La Silla, and we have been doing all the shops in several cities around the world. Paint, therefore, is our major. And paint we do in several styles. So we do from classic to more decorated, to plasters, and so on and so forth. Novacolor, I would say that we can be considered, therefore, for what we do and for the commitment that we have, a very good partner for talents. So we want to be your partner. We don't want to come and go. It's a long-term relationship, what we're looking for, because the idea is to be able to talk to absolutely everybody. So now we will go back to the target. What is our target? We want to learn your language. Your language is very complicated for us. But anyway, we want to try to create a common level of communication where we can exchange opinions, we can learn from you, and we can show you what we know best. And what we know best is about color. You will have the possibility maybe to go through the samples afterwards and to see some of our beautiful color cards. So whatever color card we do, there is a meaning. There is a meaning when we pick a product called June, because we are in love with the desert. There is a meaning when we talk Africa, because Africa means to us history, colors, nature. And there is a meaning when we say that we talk Swahili. Swahili is the language of Africa. So each collection, I'm sure those who will work with us will have the chance to learn and understand why and what does it stand for. And then, of course, a lot of collections, like colors designed for architects, for designers, for people who are actually passionate about this job. One of the good things about us is that we keep producing new materials. So this third-degree oxidation that you will see in a sample is the big news for this year. We have tools, as I said, the boxes for architects to display all our colors in real. You will see that all our color cards are applied in real. Website. The website is extremely informative. So it is a very good instrument, a very nice tool to learn more about us, because of course the presentation tonight will only tell you 1% of what we do, and an application. So you can download on your mobiles, Androids, iPhones, tablets, a free of charge application about Novacolor. Social media, we are absolutely everywhere. So Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever you think of, there we are. And this, for instance, one of our formats for the showroom. So whenever we think color, we think that we have to give our clients also some nice modern ideas about how to create their own showrooms, where to go sell paint. So something that is extremely simple, again, clean, but very easy to recognize. So the partnership with Pakin, the partnership with Pakin Oman is what makes us big. It's not only because we invest money that we are big, we are big if we associate with good people that can teach us a lot. And this is why we're also investing a lot of time and a lot of efforts in getting close to big names in architecture, like for instance Karim Rashid, that maybe our Egyptian friends will know, is probably the most well-known designer right now in the world, where we sponsored his exhibition in Italy 3 years ago. And Fabio Novembre, one of the young Italian talents, Daniel Libeskind. So this is very important to create a very strong link with the reality, with the real world. So it's, sometimes, you know, we do things thinking that we're the best, but only people that work with us can tell us whether what we do is good enough or not. And then academy. Training, because one of the most important I would say, target and scope of working, it's about training. We have to teach people to work, because people must work and they have the right to learn. So as manufacturers, we dedicate money, we dedicate investments in order to guarantee that, for instance, sometimes painters that are not so, didn't have the chance in life to be educated or to have let's say, work that sometimes comes from the family. You know, Italy in this sense is very similar to Middle East. The family is a very important, so where you come will tell you probably who you will be in the future. So well, for those who don't have this courage, this luck, and also for others who want to improve their targets, we invest every year money to teach, to train, to give classes, and to increase and upgrade their knowledge about materials. And then last but not least, events around the world. So furniture show in Milano, Paris Design Week, Design for Life with El Decor, whatever exhibition that talks design we try to attend with our company. And this is some of the things that we have done recently in Europe, but not only in Europe. I was 10 days ago in Miami, where we attended an international show called Maison Objet. So again, we are a partner for designers and for talents. This universe of colors that we want to create is telling us what? That we need to create mood, we need to create, to reshape our cities using the right colors and the right proportion, and most of all that we have to have a very high care for details. So details is what makes the difference always in our everyday life. How we talk to people, it's not a detail. How we learn, it's not a detail. How we paint is not a detail. So this is where we want to be. We want to be in a situation where the accuracy of what we do is what makes us big. And I hope we can really become big with you here in Oman. And I thank you very, very much for this opportunity again. And well, I hope to see you all in Italy one day to make the same celebration. Thank you.